Now you know what kind of words to use, but where and when do you use them? In this video, which is the second part of my mini-series, I will tell you about scenes and concepts and how they can aid or diminish the quality of your work. First, TMI, too much information. I feel the most strongly about this specific one because I've seen it way too many times. What happens with a lot of beginner writers is that they bombard their work with info. A simple way to solve this is to, not. What you can do instead is don't let the characters think, let the character do. Sure, every once in a while, delve into the character's thoughts, but don't slow the action. In one of my friend's stories, all they did was explain facts about the location, the individuals, the year, and more sugar. What I suggested is that they just begin with a dang story and gradually introduce these facts into people's actions, emotions, words. Another good example was with a short story I read. The writer was great at building excitement and letting the reader ask questions about what will happen. But when the big moment actually came, there was so much thinking the hero did. It went by so slowly. I understand the writer wanted to build some more anticipation, but it felt like the story had to literally stop to allow for the hero's thoughts. Second, excitement. This ties in a little bit with the past point. If there's a scene in your book that you feel just drags on, add some sort of thrilling encounter. For example, in my first book, I had a whole chapter based on the hero and future heroine babbling on about their wretched insecurities. It's good to share some information, but, like the past point, you need to do, not think or tell. What I did to that scene was it started off as a regular chapter. However, out of nowhere, an enemy nymph found their hideout and gathered an army and attacked. I know, it's rather sudden, but it just speeds up a slow chapter or even a slow book in general. Third, the very beginning. I cannot stress to you how important the beginning is, especially the first line. If you're ever looking to get your novel published or simply share it with your friends, the first line is critical. In this book I read called Editor-Proof Your Writing, 21 Steps to the Clear Prose Publishers and Agents Crave, one of the first sections is all about how the author, Don McNair, received a manuscript from someone, but the first paragraph was utterly unappealing. Most, if not all publishers, will stop at the first line if it doesn't appeal to them. However, the first sentence of this writer's second paragraph was excellent. Here it is. Good heavens! A naked man was standing in the river. I think that line will draw anyone in, whether they enjoy it or not. So when you're planning that opening phrase, try to nail something that asks the reader 2 or more questions. After all, that's why the reader will want to continue. He or she needs a reason to. Lastly, character development. Now this point isn't necessarily one point. It's full of sub-points, all on how to develop a character. I touched on this a bit at the end of my last video, but I feel it's too important and there's so much more to it. First part of this, think of a conflict or argument you had recently with your friend, a family, an acquaintance, a stranger, anyone. Write down exactly how you felt about it, or as much as you can. Then, trash that paper, or recycle it. With that exact same problem, write how your character or characters would feel being in that conflict. What would they do? What would they say? How would they feel on the inside? Second part of this, containers. If your character does or would own a wallet, what would be in there? If it has tickets, where are they from? Or maybe in their jewelry box, their school locker. Don't worry about the plot, forget all about it. Just think about their character. Get to know them. Thank you so much for watching. This is my second video. I worked hard on it and I really hope you like it. There's going to be a third one all about presenting your novel to editors and publishers and what is key.